Hello, everyone, and welcome to Community Voices. I'm Brittany, the editor of Community Rec Magazine. Today, I am joined by Justin Dominick. He is the Senior Director of Fitness at the JCC of Greater Baltimore. Welcome, Justin.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. How is your day going?
It's going. We were just talking a few minutes ago. We got a renovation project going on at the JCC in Baltimore on our Owings Mills campus that we're wrapping up. Supposed to reopen Monday, so trying to put the finishing touches on that so we can open on time. So we're getting there.
Yes, everyone stay tuned. So then I'm sure you'll hear about this great renovation and all the stuff that you're doing.
It's really exciting. It's much needed. Like I said, we've been planning it for about a year, and it's finally happening. So we can't wait till Monday when it reopens. So it's going to be awesome.
Perfect. So before we jump into the fitness specific questions, I would love to just know what brought you to the JCC. What's your journey been like, and then your relationship to fitness?
Yeah, so I've been in the fitness industry for almost 20 years now. I started in 2005, actually training, but for the year prior to that, I worked in a physical therapy setting. So similar, a little different. I said almost 20 years now. I was an athlete all my life. I played football in college, so I was always in the weight room and into strength training and stuff like that. My dad has always been really into working out and strength training. So, we had a gym in our house. When I was a young kid, I had an old, the old plastic, sand filled. It was a Hulkamania, set that he got me for me and my brother for Christmas. So that's kind of where it all started. Just something I love and I'm passionate about. And, we all know the benefits that it has on our health and well-being. And I love sharing that knowledge and my knowledge with people. And so that's kind of where I come from, in the fitness background. To the JCC, I kind of stumbled upon that one. I really did not know much about the JCC world or the nonprofit side, YMCA or JCC. I didn't know much about it. I came from the for-profit and corporate side of fitness. That's where I was, the first 15 years or so of doing this. I was looking for a change, trying to grow my role. I saw a job listing for a senior director of fitness. It didn't even say where it was. They said it was in, a town close to where I lived. They were working with a recruiter. So I applied, they called me. I did a phone interview and they were like, come to this place. I was like, I don't even know where that is. So, several interviews later with, the executive team and, some board members and all that. 6 years later, here I am. So
Wow.
the short version.
Yeah. No, I love that. Just all right, let's try it out and let's see what happens. And now you've been there for so long now.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm working, it'll be 6 years this summer in August. It's definitely been very rewarding. It's very different than any other side of fitness that I've worked in. One thing that makes that so different is the community aspect of it. I had never worked in kind of a community center before. I never worked at a YMCA, which can have that feel. But it's truly amazing. The relationships that our members have with each other. A lot of them have known each other their entire lives. They've grown up together. Their kids know each other. Their grandkids know each other. And it's this common ground of fitness and exercise that we, have under one roof in our organization that brings it all together, which it's truly amazing. It's been, like I said, truly rewarding, learning a ton, which is always great. So, but it's definitely has some nuances to it that, you don't get in other parts of fitness. When you're a nonprofit, you're working with a board of directors, you're working with lay leaders and donors and that type of stuff. So there's definitely things that, you have to consider that you wouldn't in, the for-profit side. It's been awesome. I love it. And, I'm thankful to be here and I just, hope to keep growing and moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hinted on that, that aspect of community. I know that's such a huge part in a lot of what we're going to talk about today. So I want to kind of pull apart that concept of working out, or, if you want to encompass it as just saying fitness. So it can mean something different to everyone. And I know something you're passionate about, you've written articles on this, is fostering community through fitness. So I wanted to see if you could kick us off by explaining why community and fitness is important to you and the impact it has on well-being.
Yeah, for sure. That's, I think one thing that we're always, I mean, humans by nature, we're social beings. We want to have interaction. I think we can all agree in the last 3 years that has been tested to the max.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all know people, if not ourselves, that may have went through some periods of being locked down and shut in and like, man, this stinks. I don't like it. I want to get out. I want to be around people. And as soon as we were able, we flocked back as best we could, as safe as we could. And I think it really uncovered some things for people, what's really important. And we know that social connection is one of them. As far as the relationship between community and fitness, we know that being social has a whole host of health benefits, very similar to exercise and fitness. I'm going to draw a blank on it. I can't remember her name. I believe she was at Harvard. I think she was a sociologist or something like that. She did a study. It was over in like Greece somewhere in this small village. And she did this whole study on like social interaction and social isolation. And this population, they had like, I mean, the octogenarian and above population in this Greek village was like staggering. So she went over to find out why. And it wasn't fitness. It wasn't nutrition. Sure, there were some of those things, but they had these large extended families and communities of friends. It was young people taking care of older people, and these people were never alone. And as she dug more and more, she found out what this was really doing and how this was benefiting these people living long into their 80s, 90s, and over 100 years old. And if we couple nutrition and fitness on top of that, we're just going to multiply the effect that it's going to have. And within our walls at the JCC, we have an outstanding opportunity to bring all that together. Like I said, these people have known each other for years, most of them. And if they haven't, we're going to introduce them to new people. One thing that we still get a lot of is, do I have to be Jewish to belong to the JCC? And the answer to that is no. And it's weird that, to me, that's still out there. Yes, we have Jewish values kind of anchor what we do, but we're inclusive to all. And our community that we're in is so diverse now. If you walk down our hallways, you're going to see everything, every walk of life, every age, every ethnicity, whatever it may be. You're going to see all of it within our building. And that's super cool. And we're bringing all these people from different backgrounds together, and we're cultivating these relationships. And it's through, workouts in our fitness center. It's through our group fitness classes. It's through pickleball and basketball and special programs that we run. And, so we're really cultivating that community. And it's not only that, we have other things outside of fitness. We have a preschool. We have our summer camps. We have a 500-seat theater, performing arts center. We have dance classes for kids that do plays in the theater. We have all this stuff. We have people from our community renting out our building and our facilities for various events that they're having. So there's a ton of stuff to do within our walls at the JCC that cultivates this community. And we just know how beneficial it is to everyone's well-being. Like I said, we couple it all together, and we have a really special opportunity to have an amazing impact on our community.
Yeah. And, something I think specifically important for community recreation centers is just changing that narrative, kind of like, as you're saying, with like the JCC, do I have to be Jewish? I think that's similar with working out, and so changing that narrative, working out to belonging in a community. So can you share maybe how you've changed this narrative at the JCC, and then with the members that you work with currently?
I think the biggest thing is making sure that people know, that we have things for everybody. It's not just, we don't have like a niche clientele. We're not a bodybuilding gym. We're not a powerlifting gym. We're not a CrossFit gym. If you want to do those things, yes, you can come do them. If you're an older retiree and you want to come hang out with your buddies and, gossip on an exercise bike, like, you can do that. If you want to meet your mom friends after you drop your kids off at the preschool and take a group fitness class, you can do that. If you want to come in after school and play basketball with your friends, you can do that. If you want to, like I said, if you want to power lift, you can do that. If you want to bodybuild, you can do that. Like, we're open to everybody. And, that was definitely a change when I arrived, because, some of the younger exercisers, the ones that deadlift heavy, squat heavy, they might make a little bit more noise. They might bang some more weights around, that type of thing. people weren't used to that. And I had to be like, hey, it's okay. Like, they're not doing anything wrong. Like, just let them be. We'll monitor it. And, we've really cultivated and kind of reset that expectation of this stuff is okay. You can still do your thing while they do their thing. We can all coexist and get along. And we have cultivated great relationships between our older population and our younger population. Everybody is friendly. It's not just me, it's our team. Our team, is really bought into that and be like, hey, this is kind of the image that we want to project. Very fortunate to have such a great team, and they make sure they introduce the young members to the old members, both in longevity and age, members that have been there for a while, new members, and older members to younger members. So it's quite cool. Yeah, so we got a good thing going, and I'm hoping that it's not just us. I'm hoping that this is a, I guess, cultural or national thing, that we're seeing this in other JCCs, YMCAs, community rec centers, and even in the for-profit stuff. I'm hoping this is what everybody's trying to do, for a whole host of reasons. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. And on that, so if you were, to give advice, how could other community organizations, anybody who might be listening, how could they cultivate a fitness community in their centers? What advice could you share
yeah,
for them, some takeaways?
sure. So have things that are going to get the members engaged with each other. It's, if you're not doing any kind of engagement programming where you're just like, hey, here's our, you scan in at the front, you go back, you work out, group fitness, group fitness is an engagement it forces people to kind of be social, right? So that's like, we have that, that's built in as part of your membership. Being in the gym, you can kind of come in, put your headphones in and do your thing and not talk to a soul and leave, which is cool for some people. We all like that sometimes. But how do we make sure that everybody's engaged, connecting with each other? We have challenges. Challenges are a great way. I think a lot of gyms probably do that, a lot of fitness centers would have different types of challenges throughout the year. Like I said, we're in a unique position in our facility because we can do non-fitness related things, which are huge. A lot of places might say, hey, let's meet at this restaurant and do like a happy hour or whatever it might be. We can say, hey, we have a special program happening in our theater. Why don't we get a group of us to go? We have those all the time. Or, hey, my kids and your kids are the same age. Are they doing camp? Let's make sure they know each other because they're going to be at camp all summer together. Oh, our kids are in the preschool together. Oh, we have, our kids are in, one of our youth sports or recs programs. Our kids participate in our Maccabi program. All this stuff. So, like I said, we just have a tremendous opportunity to cultivate all these different connections in our community. And I'm hoping that people, kind of take some of that. I know it's all different for everywhere, but like just thinking of unique and creative ways to get your members connected with each other through fitness. And I also think it's important outside of fitness. Let them find other commonalities they have or other interests that they have in common and say, hey, all right, let's foster these connections around that, or get suggestions. Send out a survey to your members and say, hey, what do you guys want to do? Like, we want to do something fitness related in January, great time. And maybe in the springtime when the weather's nice, we want to do something non-fitness related, whether that's on campus, off campus, but something like, what do you want to do? And let them have some input, that way they feel like they're being heard, they're being listened to, and, they have, some skin in the game, if you will. So I think those things are, and that's going to help grow your member base too, because people are going to talk about it and you're going to have new members coming through your door. You're going to grow your community.
Yeah, no, I love that. And something that stuck out to me when you were talking about that is like a trend I feel like we're seeing, just like in all kinds of facilities, is just creating, what they're calling like community spaces, like gathering spaces, and even of just like, just having like an open space somewhere with tables where I've heard about like people just want to play cards together or have lunch together, things like that.
Sure.
Before they go to a workout or a class or something together.
Yeah.
So, I heard that when you said that, and I was like, yeah, just like
Yeah.
places for people together.
And that's definitely, we definitely have that within our facility. And people, like you said, people just sit and hang out at a table and chat. Some people bring their food. They'll sit there, they'll bring lunch, and after their workout, they'll sit and eat and talk to each other. Or they'll bring coffee with them, and they'll sit there and drink coffee before their workout or whatever, their class or whatever it might be. So we definitely, like I said, I didn't mention that specifically, but yeah, we definitely have that. And I think it's definitely important that facilities have that so people can just hang out. Sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I wanted to kind of just open it up to you and see if you had anything else that you would like to add just on this aspect of creating a fitness community.
I think, as fitness professionals, we understand the value of exercise. We understand the value of nutrition. The idea of community is, think, fairly new to the game. It was always fitness, nutrition, working out. How are you eating? It was those two things. Community was always there. It was kind of always in the background, because how do you get people coming in your door? How do you get people to stay? You're engaging them, right? When you're engaging them, what are you doing? You're creating community. It was always there, but we always talked about it more from, like, I guess, more businessy side of things, if you would. It always had a, how do we drive revenue? How do you do this?
Yep.
And we always looked at it through that kind of lens. When you kind of look at it from the other side, and how do we build community? What can we do to keep these people connected? Could be through fitness. It could be through non-fitness related things. Like you said, it could just be sitting and talking, introducing members to each other, doing fun programs and activities, at your facility. When you do it that way, you're not only going to benefit the member more, because they're adding that third piece of the puzzle, that community, that social belonging, that purpose, which we all know is important for your overall health and well-being. A huge mental aspect to that, mental health aspect, which we all know is super important. We're hearing more and more about that these days. So when you put that kind of mental health piece, that social piece with the fitness and the nutrition, you're going to create a huge, vibrant, committed community that's going to be like, this is the place where I want to go. And they're going to tell people about it. And people are going to come to you. They're going to seek you out because they're hearing such good things about what you're doing. So I think that's, really, really important to do. And I think it should be something that, should be more in the front as you plan and program, for the months and years to come. So yeah, like I said, it's a huge piece. We know how important it is to overall health and well-being, and I just hope more people are focusing on that. And I think the return will be there in the end. So
Yeah. Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. And for anybody listening too, of course, I'm sure Justin is always happy to answer questions, but you can also check out his articles. You have a few that are on the site that are a lot about fostering community through fitness and just community in general. You usually have like a bunch of great takeaways in there. So a lot of resources to check out. And absolutely, I think the more community, the better. That's the industry that we're in.
That's what we do. That's why we're in this, the nonprofit side of this stuff. So, but yeah, like I said, I think there's there's work to be done. We can always grow it and make it stronger and better. And, I just, like you said, I love collaborating and learning from people on this side of the industry, because I think we have so much to gain from each other. So it's been great. One thing for me, it's been great is to get back to like some of these conferences and stuff that we missed the last couple of years. I know you guys are doing a lot in that space now with your leadership summits and things of that nature. So hopefully I'll get to maybe come to some of those in the future. But like that stuff, like we need to learn from each other. Find your colleagues, find people that are in your area that you can gather, whether it's on Zoom because it's easy, you can do it from anywhere, or whether it's in person, which we just did a 3-day regional conference for JCCs 2 weeks ago. Some of these people I hadn't seen in 3 or so years, so it was so nice to get back in person and learn from them and figure out how they were growing their community back. Because we lost, fitness, we got hit hard, and it was like, what are we doing to grow this community back? And how did we make sure people knew that we were there for them when things got hard during the pandemic? So do those things too. Fitness professionals, get out there and learn from each other. Hugely important.
Yes. And speaking of events, I know we're just like slowly launching, but yes, there will be one next year. And yes, you will receive information about it. Absolutely. So we're excited to share more about it as we're rolling out the details. But yes, thanks for bringing that up. We do love events also.
Yeah, sure.
And
Sure.
and seeing people in person. Perfect. So thank you. Thank you for sharing your voice. Thanks for helping us further our mission of educating and empowering the community recreation industry. Again, if anybody has any questions, reach out. We are happy to help. And then until then, we'll see you next time.
Brittany, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thanks.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.